you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer-first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend.
Good evening, a pleasant good evening to everyone. On the ground in Guyana, North America, Europe, the wider Caribbean, good evening, good evening. Anywhere around the world you're watching, good evening, welcome to Over to You, a program for the people, by the people. I encourage everyone to go ahead. This is your program. Please like your program and share the link. Please do so. We encourage you to support Big Bird Transportation Services and also Andrew's Supermarket on Robb Street and Aubrey Barker Road. This program is brought to you compliments of Benchop Consultancy, Immigration and Law. For all your immigration consultancy issues, please contact Benchop Consultancy, Immigration and Law at 917-714-1082, and someone will definitely be there to help you. And of course, Andrew's Supermarkets and Big Bird Transportation Services.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. White Shoes Big Bird, on-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
Thank you again. Thank you. And look, it's always great when you have a program and you have sponsorship. So I am very, very happy that Benchap Immigration Consultancy and Law is able to sponsor my program and keep me here live. Also, a big call out to our brother, Mr. Clinton Hollingsworth, the owner of Big Bird Transportation Services. I encourage everyone to support this business. All right, brothers and sisters, I know by now many of you would have shared the link and you guys are ready to get on with it. So let me quickly do the call out, the quick 1.5 to 2 minute call out. A blessed good evening to Miss Siobhan McDonald, Abida Monroe, Mary Figueroa, Canada is in the house. Good evening, good evening. Rosemary, Martindale Brackett, a pleasant good evening to you. Sonia Sargent, good to see you. Miss Ann Kit, it's always a pleasure. Miss Pam Halls, the same thing. Pleasure seeing these freedom fighters, these real Guyanese patriots. Nigel McKenzie, good to see you, sir. Good. Patricia Gray Zandi, Miss let me change that. The Honorable Miss Shondell Griffith, it's good to see you tonight here. Paula Jones, Yanet Johnson, good to see you. My brother, Golly God, good to see you, brother. And you know he's going to come back and tell you guys to share the live because that's just Golly God right there for you. Yvonne Castillo, good to see you. Matthew Dennison, Harlem is in the house. Anne-Marie Shelby, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, guys, continue to share the link, like the program. Share the link, like the program. All right, let's get into it. We continue on the way forward for the APNU, okay? The way forward for the APNU. Well, I'm going to start off tonight by saying it is mandatory that the APNU and the WPA continues to be a coalition, okay? Because it shows belief, it shows strength. It shows strength behind that great manifesto that I would have seen presented by this coalition of parties, right? So I'm expecting to see that. I don't expect to see anything different. That being said, brothers and sisters, that being said, we have the 12 members that are already named to the parliament. That is what you're going to call the real core team there. That's your parliamentary team, right? That's your core team when it comes to parliament. I believe a lot of them, quite a few of them, is inexperienced. Dr. Hines would have been to parliament before, I believe. I know Comrade Nemo Flubes, she has parliamentary experience. So is Comrade Coretta McDonald and Comrade Ganesh Mai Paul and Comrade Vincroy Jordan, right? These individuals have parliamentary experience. When you look at a Dr. Todd, he has been around. He has been in the courtroom. You know, he's been out there in the world. He's a part of a lot of different legal fraternities. So he should be able to conduct himself in parliament. That should not be a problem for him, especially since Barry Jagdeo would have called the parliament a comedy show. That should be no problem whatsoever for Dr. Todd. Should not be a problem either for Dr. Terence Campbell. He has been around. He's a business owner. When you own a business, it calls for a lot of engagement. And that is what's going to happen in Parliament. It's going to be a lot of presentations. It's going to be a lot of engagement. So he should be all set. The newcomer, Brother Riaz Ruknarain, he's been around the party. He's been around Comrade Norton and all these other parliamentarians. And I am sure he can leverage parliamentarians that has a lot of experience. Right? And they will nurture him and groom him and get him ready. Ganesh Maipal also, Comrade Ganesh Maipal has good parliamentary experience. The brother Saku Andrews. And I would have just mentioned the name of his business, Andrews Supermarket, on Robb Street and Aubrey Barker Road, which I encourage everyone to support. He built that business from the ground up. All right? And he built it the correct way. He maintained his ethics. He took his time. He took his ideas. He had to put in the necessary work. Okay? So Andrew's Supermarket, there's nothing corrupt about that. That is 100% authentic. And I encourage everyone to support that business. Okay? Because you know when you go and you spend your money there, all right? You're spending your money in a place that was built from the ground up the correct way. And with an entrepreneur who has a good record, who has character. I speak about this so many times. Character. That's important. It is imperative to have that. The same thing with Dr. Terence Campbell. Character. It stands out. Continuing. I would have just spoke on the 12 there. I believe. Now, outside of that 12, all right, I know Mr. Benchap would have asked if they have ever met before, gotten together before as a quorum to start their strategic planning. And I want to say this. They're going to have their strategic plans as for like APNU, but I believe that that's going to expand. I believe the Honorable Amanza Walton this year is going to somehow be a part of that plan because her ideology, you have to remember where she came from. Yes, there's going to be some tweaks and changes in her ideology, small changes. But for the most part, it is going to mirror that of the APNU. So I am of the belief that she will caucus with the APNU, creating a 13th seat in Parliament. It's not going to be an APNU seat, but, 13 people are going to be there. That's my belief. And I'm sure if I'm not completely right, I'm close to being right. No, we have some past parliamentarians that would have missed this list. Now, here is where it becomes touchy, and I ask you guys to please bear with me because I believe that right is right and wrong is wrong. And I believe that there are certain things, when you make decisions, there are certain things that need to be said. And I'm going to start this off with the Honorable Christopher Jones, the last chief whip, okay, of the last parliament. He did not make this list. I don't know if this would have occurred or not, but I believe that the leader of the opposition needs to reach out to Christopher Jones and explain to him why he did not make the list. That's number one. And to encourage him, okay, to let's go, continue to stay on. We have plans for you, right? You just cannot drop these people. Remember, this party is a party that is hemorrhaging, and it's only so much the public eye, the people, you guys, are going to tolerate the hemorrhaging of this party. At some point, you guys are going to look and say, well, hey, come on, all these people cannot be wrong. Something has to be fundamentally wrong with the leadership. And before we get to that point, I am saying, because look, guys, I think I touched on this a bit last night. Okay? Leadership encompasses a lot. Okay? Sometimes as a leader, you have to bend a little. You can't always stand up with your chest out. Oh, I am the leader. No. Sometimes you have to reach out to your people. There needs to be meetings with the Honorable Christopher Jones, the Honorable Miss Annette Ferguson. Look, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit, because you know, as you do these programs and you're out there, you get to know people a little bit. You get to know a little bit about them. You see, the Honorable Annette Ferguson, you could take a pad and a few pens and give it to her and tell her, and I'm talking about 9 a.m. in the morning, you can tell her, go and sweep this area. I promise you, you're not going to see her back until maybe 6 p.m. And what she's going to do, she's going to bring you all the information, and then she's going to go home and she's going to write you probably an 8 to 10 page report on everything that she did that day. Very detail oriented, very loyal to the party. And we don't need to have these people thinking that they're not wanted, because you need them and you're going to lose talent. You have young Eden Corbin and the young Berbal. You need people like the Honorable Annette Ferguson and Christopher Jones to mold and to teach these young people how to get out there in the world, how to get into parliament and execute. Just take them and have them sit in parliament and learn. Comrade Roysdale Ford, arguably one of the top 3 attorneys at law in Guyana. Okay? He knows it inside out, man. The guy's got talent, no doubt about it. Especially within the realms of the legal fraternity. Right? We need to keep these people in the party. The APNU needs these people in the party. All right? They have not submitted any resignations. That's to show that they're loyal. That's to show that they're not there for money. You notice, as soon as a few people see that they're not going to parliament and they're not going to be collecting that monthly salary and getting the duty free and everything, you see what happened? You see what happened? How could that be? How could one day you said, oh, I am aligned with this party, oh, I am for the people, I am prepared to work for the people. And then as soon as you didn't make the parliamentary list, you resign. Some key positions. So the leader has got to reach out to these people. There were a lot of hard workers during the campaign run, that 3-month, 4-month campaign run. All right? Miss Robin Simons, another one. You got, as a leader, you have to look after these people because they're going to feel unwanted. And when they feel unwanted, you're going to essentially lose them. And then the hemorrhaging of the party is going to just continue. You don't need that. If the PPP, if the PPP could have done all the things that they would have done, all the atrocities against the Guyanese people, and is still standing up as a party, I beg to ask the question, why not the APNU? Why not the APNU? A party with very strong values and morals. A party by far the better party for a people with ethics, values, and morals. You guys heard me clearly. For a people, okay, with ethics, morals, and strong values. Not for a lawless people. Not for a lawless people. That's what the PPP is all about. There's no programs for young Guyanese. And the health ministry needs to be transparent. Because apparently there's a massive uptick with Guyanese being HIV positive. We need to have health clinics for young people. It should happen in the schools where you have individuals from the health ministry coming out to address young people. You have public clinics for the middle-aged and those who are out in the streets. We need to edify our people. We need to preserve our people. All right? We have to preserve our people. We have to be strong. Look, if government is not going to put policies in place, we have 12, possibly 13 individuals that's guaranteed that's going to fight for policy. And like I would have said on last evening's program, policy should start and end with a new voters list. It has to. It just simply has to. There is no future. There is no strong, proper future for Guyana without a new voters list. All right? You have a government that sits there right now that is non-compliant, that is not transparent, that does not provide the Guyanese people with updated reports with regards to their patrimony, the patrimony of the Guyanese people, which is oil and gas, okay? And expanding upon that, all natural resources. They don't provide the Guyanese people with proper records of what is actually happening. Now, the opposition, I need them to be a bit more boisterous. I need to see more passion in their approach, right? The PPP, you cannot lack passion when you deal with these guys. This is no longer about diplomacy. The PPP doesn't know about that. In the confines of the strategic plan of the APNU, and to be honest, brothers and sisters, I don't know what it looks like. But what I am going to say is that strong protest need to be a part of that strategic plan. Because if it's not, what is going to happen is that the next election is going to come around and they are going to be forced once again to contest that election with this same list. And like I would have said before, and I'm saying it again, they can never win an election with this current list. People always say never. The PPP have this list scripted to a T. They have it in possession. They are able to analyze and study it. But if there's a new list, now here we go. It will have to be presented to all and sundry. And you're going to be able to vet that list better. You're going to have a better idea of what the electorate actually look like. Because right now we don't know anything. How can you do numbers if you have this big bloated list where the list of electorates is just about the same amount, tying out to the population of the nation? That's not possible. Is it a nation with just adults? The other thing, and some Guyanese are real slackers, I must say. The PPP has not been they have not been transparent with the census. We still don't know what the census. Look, they have won with the list. The list have re-elected them. They haven't won the elections. Look, ain't nobody winning no elections in my book unless there's a new list. So the PPP technically did not win the elections. The list would have been used to place the PPP there. The international observers, again, the people would have came, observed the elections, and they would have left guidance of things that needs to be taken care of. They have left guidelines for a new list. And they have also called for biometrics. My question here, this is the fundamental question, ladies and gentlemen. You see, and you know something, sometimes when you speak, people get upset. How can an opposition sit down and think through the minds of normal people that support them and normal people that is looking at this issue that you can't for 1 second your mind take you somewhere where you believe that they're in bed with the lead party in government, the PPP. How can they expect you not to think that way? Because here the observers left you with all the ammunition to bell the cat. They have said it. You're not making it up. They have said it. Sister Sharon Edwards, I'm seeing your comment. I hope I am not damaging the party. I don't believe I am. You might be talking about something else, but I hope it's not my words that you may be saying is damaging the party. Because if that's the case, that's not my intention. If the party continue in the same posture that it would have used the last electoral cycle, we're going to end up in the same place. So the big question is, are we going to pivot or not? Are we going to make a move or not? Diplomacy is not working. How many times are you going to get and blurt out that we need a new voters list? You know, how many times? The Guyana Elections Commission is not budging. Right? They will not budge. You will have to move them. You will have to force them. That is how change comes about. Protests would have moved mountains. When I speak of protests, I am not speaking of damaging of personal property and this type of stuff. No. No. What you don't like for yourself, you cannot like for others. Yes, Miss Harriet Hall. House-to-house registration. House-to-house registration. We need that. If we sit down and we sit back, tell me, where is GCOM going to move towards house-to-house registration? Tell me. And what's going to be the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan to get a new voters list without any protest or anything? Tell me what's the plan. Anyone who believes that protest is not going to be the way, tell me of another plan. Because the PPP does not listen. They don't listen. Listening is not a part of the equation when it comes to the PPP. So protest has to be a part of the strategic plan. It has to be. If it's not, if the posture remains the same, right? If the posture remains the same, you know what's going to happen eventually? Your language is going to be censored. It's going to be censored. Next thing they're going to do is infringe on your freedom of speech. Because you see what's happening in a certain large economy in the world. You see what's happening? They are attempting to do just that. When you lay down and you act like if you're sleeping and you're seeing all these things happening around you and you're not moving to put a stop to it or nip it in the butt, what do you think is going to happen? It is not fear for no one man or for no small group to infringe on people's freedom of speech. That is not what people would have bargained for. like I would have said, to take away a man or a woman right to speak and demonstrate that freedom is literally to murder them without touching them. That's how bad it is. Guyana is not a caste system, and it's not going to be one. It is not going to be one. Guyana is not an Indo state, and it will not be one. We have 6 ethnic groups in Guyana, and what has to happen? We have to figure out how to make the nation equitable to all 6 ethnic groups. The PPP would have undermined the African communities. Okay? They would have attempted to bring the people in those communities to their knees. All right? And I say this to a lot of those people because a lot of people went ahead. All right? And you voted Win. Win has got to defend you. Win has got to bring about those changes that you guys are looking for. Win is the party that would have taken the position as the lead opposition. Their policies has got to be strong. Okay? They can't just go up there and agree with PPP policies. Because all you would have done is give the guy what? 52 seats? Or whatever amount of seats. We gotta stand up to this. All the marbles are done. It's on the ground now. The APNU would have been, look, I would say this. The plot of the PPP this past election cycle was to eliminate the APNU. Was to eliminate the APNU. But the APNU still has a following. But what the party must do, it must show that it has a backbone. Right? And if you waste too much time in showing that you have a backbone, right? If you waste too much time in showing that you have a backbone, you're going to lose more supporters. And when you are, or when when the time comes that you feel that you need to hit the street, you're not going to get the following that you would have been expected. So I believe that these observers, all right, would have given the opposition enough ammunition, okay, to make their voices heard. The PPP is not interested in electoral reform, not as long as they are winning elections. These people are already campaigning for local government elections. Why? Why? Because they're using state assets and state monies to do these things. Now, guys, here's something that is that I find to be very, very funny, and I have not heard back about it. The Natural Resource Fund Board. The opposition is supposed to have 2 to 3 people on that board. Now, the PPP gets an opportunity to choose 3 people, I think, to go on that board. When the PPP chooses the 3 people that they want on the board, ladies and gentlemen, the opposition has no say in it. Now, you guys, guess what happened? When it was the opposition's time to choose, they choose Dr. Vincent Adams and a few other people. You know the people Peter around and tell them that they don't want those people. How can an opposition sit down and allow these type of things to happen? The opposition should be having 45% or so, thereabout. I'm talking about the last parliament, of time on NCN. They have not made use of 10% of that time. They allow the PPP to take NCN. And that's a government-owned agency. And use it to promote their propaganda. Come, we got to stop bending over, man. It got to stop. And this all start, hey, look, some people, like Mr. Ben Chapter say, their bumps is raised when you talk about the leader, but it is the leader who got to, look, the leader can say, okay, Christopher Jones and Royceville Ford, comrades, please take care of the NCN issue for me. And just push you to them there. Y'all handle that. And just keep delegating. But we can't sit down and posture this way. And then when, we go 3.5, almost 4 years, then we say, oh, we're starting to prepare for elections again. Oh, and the momentum is going. No, I have done an election cycle now. I have done an election cycle and I have experience now. I know how this thing works now. Hit me once, you're not going to hit me twice. Some people will say once, twice, and 3 times later. Not me. Not me. You've gotten by once. It's not going to be a second time. I'm not a dunce to sit down here and allow you to get by with what you get by with the first time another time. And I know there are very, very smart people within the opposition party. Marlon Thomas, a pleasant good evening to you. Wynn is interested in getting back his Cambio license and clearing the sanctions. Why not? Why not? The Guyanese people have proven over and over and over that they can be used and abused, so why not? Why not? Nobody doing nothing for the people. Oh yeah, I want back my Cambio license. I want back this, I want back that. Me and I. What about the people? What about we? What about our people? What about us? What about that? That's my language. We, our, us. Because it ain't about Wayne Caesar. And it will never be about Wayne Caesar. I'm not here for Wayne Caesar. I'm here for the Guyanese people. All heart, all soul. And a lot of garbage going around in social media. This person send money to this person to give to that person and all this kind of stuff. I'm not calling names, but I know you guys must have heard about the stories. But I'm going to tell you this, brothers and sisters. I'm here with you guys every Saturday. And you guys are free to ask me in the comments any question you want to ask me. Any question. But there's one thing that I can promise to you guys. And promise to all the Guyanese out there, every single one, no matter what ethnic group, race, class, gender. This Saturday afternoon, the 20th day of September 2025, I say this to you. Wayne Caesar could never be paid to undermine you. Never. Never. No matter how much it's offered. Never. I came into this world with all my integrity and I intend to leave it with my integrity intact. And I make sure that everything that I do is to the benefit of people and not to hurt anyone. Brothers and sisters, when I close my show and I say to you guys that I love you, I mean that from my heart. This is not a game. Life is not a game. Every child in Guyana deserves an opportunity. Every child in Guyana, once he or she would have attained the grade for QC, St. Rose's, Bishops, whichever school, deserve the right to be there and not to lose that seat to a minister's child. Every Guyanese, we don't have 1 million people. Every Guyanese should be able to feed their kids 4 square meals per day, because that is how small our population is. If the Bangladeshi nurses can come into Guyana and do that, why can't a born and bred Guyanese get those same opportunities? The fight will continue. The fight will continue for equality. Yes, the fight will continue for equality. You are killing specifically African communities and poor communities in Guyana. You, the PPP, you are guilty of economic genocide in Guyana. You, not me. You. Many are able to survive monthly in Guyana because they have family in the diaspora. And that family, or those family out in diaspora, is able to send a little monthly top up to make sure that the rent is paid and the flickering lights stay on. Because I don't see a reason why Guyanese should pay a GPL bill. Forbes Madous, my friend, good to see you. Can the diaspora do more than talk? We do more than talk. I do a lot of philanthropy work. I don't talk about it. A lot of colleagues who come on, who talk to me offline, they do a lot of work. All right? They send out here and there to support people. Look, the fires in Alboyston damaged the house of one of my viewers right here. I was made aware of it this evening. You know? His house got damaged in that fire. Right? So yes, Forbes Madous, I do more than just talk. I support a lot of young people. I talk to a lot of young people. I encourage them to keep their head up. And that's something that the APNU have to engage in. More conversations with the youths. I don't believe that there's an existing YSM. But I believe that I would like to work with the former Minister of Youth and Sport, Christopher Jones, to see if we can get something like the YSM back on track. That should be a part of the rebuilding of the party. Right? That should be a part of the rebuilding of the party, because the youths are the future. Rita Clark replying to Forbes Modus. What more must we do? What about the people back home? Some of them don't care. How can I argue with what she's saying? How can I argue with what Miss Rita Clark is saying? She is absolutely 100% correct. If I appeal to you guys for help, if I appeal to all of you on the program here for help, I have to show you guys that I am willing to do for myself also, in order for you to support me and trust that I am going to do the right thing. We have done bar drives. We have done a lot of different things. We've done computer drives. We've done a lot of things to try to support our brothers and sisters back in Guyana. And I will always be on the line to support them. But what are we going to do? Are we going to, because you got to understand, when we support our brothers and sisters on the ground in Guyana, right? We are supporting the PPPC narrative there, you know. We are contributing to building that economy, you know. I'm just letting you guys know that. That's what we're essentially doing. They are saying that we can do whatever we want to do to you guys, but you guys will still have to do this. You guys still have to go to the mall and shop. You guys still have to go to Palm Court and wine and dine. You guys still have to support all these big businesses that are in bed with the government. You work for them. They own apartment buildings. You pay your rent to them. When you go to shop at the supermarket, if you're not shopping at Andrew's supermarket and you're shopping at one of their supermarkets, there you go, you're spending back your money there with them. You go to the movie theater, movie town, you spend your money right back with them again. So what are we doing? You're not supporting the little local business, the little corner shop there in Buxton or Pleasance or whatever the case may be. You're not keeping the revenue within your business, within your own community. When you support the Chinese, the revenue gone to China. The revenue gone to China. It's not in your community anymore. No, look, I'm not telling you guys not to support the Chinese, but what I'm saying essentially, what about the little mom and pop business in your community? Right? Is that what's going to build your community, you know? That same little mom and pop business. Deslin Wilson, how many people that are on this live should a process be called tomorrow would go out? Sister Deslin Wilson, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm glad you bring this up. I'm so happy that you've brought this up. In order for this opposition, if this opposition really wants to survive and the APNU wants to be there as a party, as a contender, let me say this. All right. Somehow or the other, they have to find a reputable security agency that is willing to work with them. Reputable, trustworthy. All right. Voices of dissent. For example, a Mark Ben Chopper, Wayne Caesar, probably a Melly Mel, probably a Rickford Burke, and all these people. We cannot safely go to Guyana. But anyone from the PPP side during the time that the coalition reigned, that was a voice of dissent, they were able to travel to Guyana without being harassed, without being threatened, or anything. That's to show you, brothers and sisters, that's a microcosm there for you. Just to show you how weak, yes, how weak the opposition behaves. No, we got to strengthen up and show that we got a spine, man. We got to strengthen up. If you're not going to go out and do the job, then be able to provide security for people that's going to come there and go and do the job with the people. Nobody's coming to Guyana to take away nobody's thunder. You see, in the opposition, there's too much ego. If I show up in Guyana, I have no time whatsoever for that. I'm there to do the people's business. How you expect to show strength? Fabs Modus, I think you're looking for trouble tonight. You got to show strength. You got to show that you have all right to Guyana, as much right to Guyana as Barajagio. He does not have the transport to Guyana. Palawala pride. Ego is what killed us in this election. Akwesi and my brother, I will call you for sure after the program. All those who I owe calls to, please put it right there. I'll call you. Everybody know that I just call them. Sometimes I just call out of nowhere. Why? Because I don't have an ego. I am here because of you guys. I don't control the narrative. You guys determine if I'm going to be here or not. We have a program here because of you. And that is the way I would like to see everybody thinking. As a leader of a political party or a political umbrella, your job is to serve the people. You're working for the people. You have to be engaging. You have to be approachable. People can't be scared to speak to you. Roderick Henry, thank you. He said, thank you, bro, so true. Miss Marlon Thomas, you are so correct. We're not here to determine who is better than who and all this kind of stuff. We're here and our goal, okay, is to rekindle the fabric of our nation, the lovely cooperative Republic of Guyana. And you want me to say something? Each and every one of you here have a role to play. Every one of you here have a role to play. I have said it before and I'm going to say it again. There is no one person that's going to change Guyana. We all have to work as a collective. We all have to put our egos to the side and use our strengths to our advantage. You see what Miss Francine Cruz is saying here? You know, some people may want to say that she's bad, but I'll say this. Not all Guyanese deserve what's on the screen here, because there's some Guyanese that just go out, man. I recall a few gentlemen on my program on election night. Those guys called me because they were working, and you know yourselves. And if you want to identify yourself on the program, go right ahead and put it in the comments. I'm not going to call your name, but you can identify yourself. The guys called me. The guy said, Wayne, is sheer skullduggery going on. One in particular called me from Linden. He said, Wayne, I am working the recount. Or I'm working, no, he was working the initial count. And he said, Wayne, this thing is garbage. And I can't do nothing but agree with him. Right? I have to look. The party needs even more transparency. The party needs to work on their war room. The party, the PR for the APNU is absolutely atrocious. It is poor. It is poor. If they're not going to use NCN, somehow or the other, you have to work out something with the CEO here, Mark Benchop, or somebody, because you need time. You need time. You're never going to be effective without time. You need to be able to put your narrative out there. You'll never have money to match the PPP. But I believe one of the things that Guyanese are going to learn, and they're going to learn quickly, for all those who took the money, right? You took the money. So when you take that money and you sold your vote, tell me, if you get $100,000 or $200,000, you know you sell your vote essentially for 5 years. It's 5 years you sell your vote for. Well, you know what I can guarantee you? That under the APNU, okay, have they won the elections over the next 5 years? Right? And this is not just to say what they would have done, but this is also to lay pressure on the other side, because one can sit in opposition and get the lead party in government to do things. Don't believe that you cannot sit in opposition and get things done. You can, and that should always be your aim. Had the APNU won the 2025 general and regional elections, okay, I can say this to all Guyanese. You would have received not what is called a cash grant, but what is essentially a cash transfer of at minimum. You heard what I said? I said minimum. One don't know what the maximum could have been. It would have had to depend on the amount of revenue that we would have got in from all of our natural resources aggregated. When I look at our economy here, I can see that GDP is scheduled in my calculation, in my analysis, to grow 18 to 21%, while the PPP would have said that GDP would grow 11%. At minimum, under the APNU, every adult Guyanese would have received at minimum $100,000 for the next 5 years, at minimum. They have even hinted that if we would have done well from an economic and a GDP perspective, there was a chance that they would have been willing to give you 2 cash transfers per year, or for that specific year, that we would have done excellent. We've got great accountants and financial minds out there. I would have gotten to speak with the Honorable Winston Jordan maybe a week or so back. And we had a great conversation, you know. And look, that man is a genius. I don't understand how he is not in the picture. when it comes to Guyana and the representation on the international scene. Okay? Winston Jordan would have thought Barry Jagdeo, Ashley Singh, and all of them, the PPP essentially, how to do budgets. Yes, they knew nothing about that. He would have taught them. All right? And they didn't get it 100%. Yes, Palo Walla Pride, I agree with you. The Honorable Winston Jordan is indeed a national treasure. And look, guys, I was able to speak to this man for an hour. He stayed on the phone with me. And I love Winston Jordan. And I love Dr. Hines too. These guys would get on the phone and spend an hour with me. Dr. Adams too. All of them. All of them. And I'll say this to all Guyanese. They love you guys, man. I get so emotional sometimes, because it's sad. It's just sad to see where our country is going. And I just want to know, when is it that we are going to stand up? When is it that we are going to stand up as a people? How long are we going to have Mark Ben Sharp having to come on and do programs, just fighting all the time? When is he going to be able to come on and we're just able to talk about policy and what we feel a government need to do for the people? When is that going to happen? We need to get serious. These are critical times. All right? And we have to respond. We have to be frontal. The opportunities of the 12 in Parliament, I believe that they are going to be few and far, but we have to make them count. We have to make them count. So there's 12 in Parliament, but I believe outside of Parliament where the strategic planning is going on, I believe Comrade Norton should be there. I believe that Comrade Roysdale Ford, Comrade Christopher Jones, and Comrade Annette Ferguson should be there because of the experience that they bring. They are going to be able to add so much knowledge to the conversations. And again, as I prepare to close, I call on the leader to reach out to those individuals, the three that I would have called, and all of those people who worked so hard at the regional level, have a one-on-one with them, all right? And encourage them, all right, to stay on board. Yes, there goes the 12. I think I forgot to call Comrade Joretta Fernandez and Comrade Sharma Solomon, Comrade Vincroy Jordan, and oh my God, the Honorable Sherrod Duncan. This is a very, very, very strong team. This is a very strong team, and they should excel in Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now program time. I love you, my brothers and sisters. Until next Saturday, over to you. Good night.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer-first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.